Hello and welcome back. Well, last week we started building a CBN grinder and we're going to continue that today. Hopefully it'll get done in this episode. It may end up being a three-part episode, but the grinding wheels have not come in, but they're supposed to be here in the next couple of days. So before I finish this video, we may actually give it a try. I fumed that with ammonia. It's been in there for about 48 hours. It could be a little darker, but it'll darken quite a bit when I put the oil finish on it. Got some poly cord belt here that we're going to drive it with. It came in. Let me show you where we're at right now. Made last week. We got this piece here done. The mandrel will go through here, and the stones will mount right there, the grinding wheels, CBN grinding wheels. And this will be our tool rest. And right here I've got a brass tip set screw, and I will cut a groove fairly deep into that so that it will hold it from sliding this way, but also when I tighten it, it won't mar the surface and make it hard to get out. So we lack putting in the spindle. We're going to take off half of this right here to mount the tool rest to. This is my mock-up wheel right here. That represents a wheel. The center of that shaft is going to be the surface of our tool rest, so when you rotate it, it remains the same distance from the wheel. A few minutes ago we finished up the, you probably saw in the beginning of the video, these will go right here. And that'll be the motor mount. And all of this will be mounted on that piece of oak that I just fumed in ammonia. So I guess the next step, I'm going to weld a block of steel in the bottom of this and thread the center of it so that I can put one bolt in there to mount this to our wood. So that's what we're going to do right now. I got this ground with a slight taper on it and a snug fit. I'm hoping it'll stay put just below the surface where I can weld it in. So far it looks like it's perfect. We're going to get kind of creative on this color. This paint's left over from my drill press cabinet. Or drill press stand. I always like putting the oil on this, comes alive. Oil doesn't seem like a very durable finish, and it really isn't for like water, but in the shop it seems to do pretty good. When oil gets on it, it doesn't change it at all. I like it. I really like oil. I like this whole process, the ammonia fuming and oil on the oak. It's amazing white oak turns that dark. Yeah, I think it'll look good. Yeah, I think that's going to work good. Well, this paint's still a little tacky and the red's definitely wet. So I think next step will be to work on this spindle and the pulleys. And after the paint dries tomorrow, we'll mount that to the wood. The black is mostly dry, but that red is still pretty wet. Okay, I drew myself a crude drawing to go by, and I need to undercut this 2.5 inches. And it's not super critical. The other end will be a little bit more critical. Right to the center of the mark. Okay, I've touched off and re-zeroed my dials. So now I've got to seems to be a 1/2 inch. Okay, I've put my tailstock up. I made a center and put my tailstock up there to see if we can get a little better finish. I'll change out this insert, see if I can't get a better finish on that. I really want this to be accurate. Exactly 1/2. So that the stone runs true on my mandrel. It's definitely cutting better. Definitely cutting better. That's got it. Well, this is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to run a little emery cloth over it. Okay, this needs to be 10.5. And it's not super critical, but it needs to be fairly close. It's very close. Well, what I want to do is leave room for an 1/8 inch spacer, the 1-inch wheel, another 1/8 inch spacer, and then my threads. But I think I'm going to let the threads go about an 1/8 inch into the grinding wheel, or into the spacer anyway. So I'm making 1 1/8 inches from that bearing. Okay, I'm going to make these right-hand thread and 1/2-13 right-hand thread, and then the other side will be 1/2-13 left-hand thread. Okay, I'm going to make a place to pull out of my threads, and normally I just cut a square groove, but I found a round tip insert there. I think that makes it a little bit stronger, the undercut. Normally I would have done this at higher speed, but I've already got it in back gear. I forgot to do it. Speed this up a little bit. I think it'll make cutting some rough threads there. Here we go. Wait a minute. Almost screwed up. This has to be a left-hand thread. Okay, I got this big block of aluminum here. And I've had it for a long time. And I always hesitate to use it. But I guess it's time. I'm going to make a mess, make this round. Close enough. What I'll do is I'll make a round end on it, turn it around and put it in my 3-jaw. This is going to be a mess. Judging from the sound of that, I think we're almost there. Yep, pretty darn close. Okay, now I'm going to put my 3-jaw on there and flip this over. Make it all round. Yeah, there we go. We're ready to make a pulley out of it. Okay, what I'm going to do here, thought about this a while. I'm going to drill or turn down a hub. Oh, I don't know, about 2-inch hub, about that wide, so I can screw it, put my set screw in there and screw it to the shaft, and then cut this off with the saw, turn it around, and chuck that hub in my pulley before I cut the profile. Right now I just need to cut a hub. Okay, what do we got there? Two-inch. I want to leave plenty of aluminum there for my set screw to hold, so I'm going to leave it right there at 2-inch. So let's see. I got this cutter I made a while back for this polycord, and I want to make a large V. I want it to be fairly deep where it'll not fall out, but I want it to make a fairly aggressive V so that when I twist the belt, it won't try to climb out. So I'm guessing this is just a big guessing game. I'm going to make it 1-inch, although I don't think it really needs to be 1-inch. I can always cut it down after when I make the pulley. So mark that for my saw. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. Cutting the groove for the belt now. Okay, that's 200 thousandths deep. Okay, my camera battery just went dead, and I was going to regrind this tool a little bit narrower. This is my old CBN grinder, the one I'm going to replace. Now we need to widen the top. This isn't the best way to cut a keyway. I think I got it a little bit crooked. Probably have to file on it a little bit. But it works. Well, let's see if it runs true. Now this motor had a weird little vibration in it. Anyway. I like it. Okay, this polyurethane belt has to be fairly tight. I think it's 10 to 15% stretch. So however long this is, you subtract 10 or 15%. So right there is just pulling gently, so it's probably a little tight, but it'll work. I made a jig here out of wood. Put some rubber bands around it because I cut that slot a little bit too wide. But you can make that slot so it's snug to hold the belt like that. But you want it to be able to slip in there. And then that belt melts together. Now I've got a special iron for splicing this belt. And they make a special jig too. The jig costs like $700. Totally ridiculous. And the iron was pretty pricey too. But you can use a soldering iron. So what you do is you push the belt onto the iron till you see a bead form. Depending on how hot your iron gets, you stop pushing and wait 10 to 30 seconds. Then you push the belt together gently. I say gently because if you push too hard, you'll push the molten rubber away and you'll have cold rubber against cold rubber. And you just let that sit for about, maybe 5 minutes or less. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes. Now what you do is you take that little extra rubber right there, get some flush cutting side cutters, and trim that little bit of rubber off. Okay, I'm running backwards. Running forward now. I believe that's going to work good. I like it. I like that really well. Okay, we're going to make some spacers to go on each side of our wheel. Okay, let's check out these wheels. Free pair of extra large gloves. Here's the 80 grit. Feels sharp. Oh, about a half a thousandth under. That should be enough. Looks true. Now all I got to do is put a nut on the other side. This side here is a left-hand nut, and I got to go get one. I believe that's going to work good. These wheels, Moresuperhard on Amazon. I think they're $89. I'll have to double check that. About the cheapest you'll find out there. I'm really curious how well they're going to do. This one's got kind of a rusty look to it. I'm sure that won't hurt anything, but it's got a little bit of chrome flaking off right there. I suspect the chrome inside the hub is what made it like a 1/1000th under a ½ inch. Yeah, that about wraps it up for this week. Next week I'll have that nut and we'll make the tool rest for it, and we'll give this thing a complete try. Give these wheels a good evaluation. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell.